And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, tax plans, so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage with you so that we can help you win. So there's multiple ways that you can engage, and again, we want to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. You can call or text that line. Any questions, comments, concerns that you have with the show, we would love to get in touch with you. Act as your super connector. We're going to connect you to the best professionals in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the show. They take time out of their busy schedules to come in and appear on our radio and TV show and serve as a consumer advocate. So it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Kevin Fiske back in studio, Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me back, Brandon. So Kevin Fiske, Mutual of Omaha, home of getting it done. Basically the lending ninja. So that it doesn't matter what the situation is. You need to upsize, downsize, right size, investment, first-time buyer. We'll make it happen.
I love that. Plus, you got that 100% fund through the Chenoa fund. I mean, awesome fund that you have. 100% financing, and they actually gift the 3.5% down payment after 36 months on-time payments. Really cool stuff.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. All right. We also have attorney Frank Miranda in studio as well. He's the owner, Frank Charles Miranda, PA, real estate attorney, and other things as well. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. Been in the law office for 22 years and serving the community in Tampa Bay and all over Florida. We're fortunate enough to help consumers in real estate title transactions, in litigation involving matters from business, real estate matters, and personal injury matters. So we've been very fortunate enough to serve this community for over 20 years, and born and raised in this community and go back a long time. And I'll tell you, this family truly loves this whole city and what you guys are doing here and trying to inform the people of Tampa.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Good stuff. So a lot of knowledge here, cumulative knowledge in the room today. We've got a lot of extensive, we're going to make you more street smart. That's the idea. We want to help you win, help you understand things, avoid commission-based advice. That's one of the big things that we talk about as well here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So get a shout out to our restaurant partner here. The Lucky Dill is our restaurant partner. They've got a deli, New York City bar. They've got Brooklyn Bakery, catering, banquets, and so much more. And they is home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. These sandwiches are huge. Excellent food. 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa, the Lucky Dill. Also, they have a location on US 19 in Palm Harbor. So go into the Lucky Dill. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I think they're going to hook you up with a free water with lemon or something like that.
Nice.
They'll take care of you in there. And so as you know, I'm the owner of Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I've got a hot listing on the beach. This is a $3.5 million asset on Clearwater Beach. 207 Coronado Drive on Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the world. This is a commercial asset right across the street from the Wyndham Grand. If you're watching our TV show on Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, you see the Wyndham Grand. It's one of the largest hotels on the beach. You've got the Hyatt right there as well, Pier 60 as well, and of course the Sugar Sand Beaches, a beautiful Clearwater Beach. And I've got another commercial asset, 7424 4th Street North over in St. Petersburg. This is a gorgeous opportunity as well for a business owner, a savvy business owner that wants to own a gas station, mini mart, corner lot. It's got 3 service bays as well for light mechanical type work, and it's a great opportunity here in Tampa Bay, right around $700,000 property in the best Tri-City area in the United States of America. And we got our buyer-seller seminar coming up. We would love for you to check out our buyer-seller seminar coming up on the 28th of the month. It's going to be over at Cox Media Group on the 28th, 6 to 8 p.m. Cox Media Group. We're going to have a home inspector there. Great time. You're going to learn how to save money when buying, selling, or investing in real estate. So we would love to talk to you, see you there. It's a free event. Just sign up on eventbrite.com. Check out our Facebook ad that we've got running. It's a really cool, funny, comical ad that we just put together. So check it out at our Consumer Quarterback Show pages on Facebook. All right, let's jump right into it. We got Kevin Fiske in the house. He's the lending ninja, the mortgage ninja.
That's it.
I
Get
like
it done.
Yeah, I love it, man. So making things happen in the mortgage side, coming through for people, and in the mortgage space, there's all these different tactics out there. You got these people talking about, oh, we're going to pay all your closing costs. We just come and do a loan with us. We're going to give you a loan. All these different types of, I call it misleading. To me, it's misleading.
Absolutely.
And I think consumers don't understand. They're paying for it somewhere. They're paying for it in the rate. But anyway, lots of options. People can work with veterans. You work a lot with veterans. You got the USDA. You got FHA, conventional, lots of different programs. Where do you want to start, man?
Well, yeah, you named it. It's across the board. So if we're talking veterans, if we're talking first-time home buyers, if you have credit challenges as well, we can work with folks with that, help them get their credit up where it needs to be. The down payment assistance. How many times have you run across clients that's kind of the only hurdle they're facing? Not anymore. So this is something that we have in-house. So we'll look at all the pieces of the puzzle, figure out what we need to address, how we need to, which program will fit them perfectly for what it is they're trying to accomplish. So again, first-time buyer comes in, we'll sit down, discuss it, A to Z, soup to nuts, so that they know what the process is and what areas we might need to address, to fix, to improve. Again, credit, down payment, you name it. So
it comes down to the 3 C's, the 3 C's of lending, right? You want to explain the 3 C's?
Well, income, asset, and credit.
That's right. So income, asset, collateral, aka collateral. So when it comes down to that, so you've got your credit. Again, that's a place that a lot of people are they're not sure about it. They don't understand what goes into it. We had a conversation yesterday. We're talking about inquiries. So many times people say, "Oh, the inquiries don't hit my credit. I don't want my credit score to run." I think inquiries are only like 5% of your overall credit score. They account for 5%.
Potentially, worst case scenario could be 3 points. But
yeah,
if you already have credit problems, let me take a look at it, even if it nails you 3 points, because I'm going to get it bumped up 100 points.
That's right. And it's not like you can't go, like if you're shopping for a car, you can't go to Ford, Chevy, and Dodge in one day or within 1 month. They allow for that because they want people to be savvy consumers.
Same thing with a lender. You have 45 days.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking with Kevin Fiske here. He's with Mutual of Omaha Mortgage here in Tampa Bay. Again, a local lender. Support your local economy. And if you're watching our TV show, you can see their website, some of their different programs that they have up here. And let's talk about that 100% financing program, because not many people have access to this 100% type of program that you have. And I really want to beat that drum, especially when it's talking about the renters out there.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of programs out there available to anyone with other lenders, that most of them are county-based. So there's a certain amount of money available, and there's all the criteria that people need to meet. Credit needs to be a certain thing. There's an income cap as well. Some of them are not forgivable. I mean, you just got to jump through all these hoops, and then they dictate the interest rate. Again,
right.
Not saying that it's not a viable program for someone that might fit that little window.
Right.
But we have 5 different programs internally where, just like you said, you mentioned the forgivable.
Yep.
Some of them are FHA, some of them are conventional. Some of them will, for example, FHA, the minimum down payment's 3.5%.
Yep.
Well, Chinoa, our program, boom, we'll do the 3.5. We have some others that'll even pay for a portion of the closing costs, 5% of the closing costs. And you and I, obviously, and we'll discuss that, the seller contributions.
Yes.
That working with the seasoned realtor like yourself and your team, when you put that offer together, you ask for the seller concessions, the seller contributions, to help with those closing costs. Because like you said earlier, they don't magically disappear.
Right.
The title company is not going to work for free.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, and the governor's got to play golf, right? I mean,
Amen,
that's
brother.
where the dock
Yeah.
stamps, all the dock stamps and
yeah.
all this, everything's going into it. So it's a complex puzzle when it comes down to it. Now, what are you seeing here? As far as applications, volume wise, what do you think is going to happen with the Fed? What are we looking at as mortgage rates?
Well, throughout the rest of the year, I'm fairly certain that we're going to see rates increase a little bit more. Again, they're still historically low, lower than they've ever been. But I did bring another fun fact. So
Okay.
Right now, what we're looking at, we're looking nationwide with delinquencies, mortgage delinquencies, and foreclosures. We're at the lowest point that we've been in, take a guess, how many years?
Oh, man, going back to 08, 09, right? Well, that's when it started.
Right.
So that's when it started to
So
get
we're
worse.
looking so sweet. The market is so strong because the first sign of a weakening market is you got people struggling to pay. You got foreclosures.
Mm-hmm.
That means they're not making their payments. There's going to be short sales. Values will start to drop.
Right.
That's absolutely the first sign. So right now, our market is so strong. There's only 4.1% of homes that are delinquent across America.
Yep.
The last time it was like that was almost, or better than that, was almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
That's how strong our market is. So
Yeah.
anyone that's like, I'm going to wait for the numbers to get better. I'm going to wait for the bubble to
Yeah.
burst. It's not going to burst.
Yeah,
It's not.
ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And when you look at the numbers, the stats, what I've looked at as well is inventory shifting. So now you've got inventory shifting, and January was a little bit of an off month in terms of because the government shutdown affected some of the numbers. But when you look at it and you take a objective viewpoint, we're starting to see that bell curve. So we've seen the bottom hit, and now it's shifting, and that inventory level's coming back up. It's affecting absorption rates. It's affecting the months of inventory and supply, and especially the further north you go in terms of 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 and up, it's going to get even worse in that price point.
Right. Absolutely. Just you mentioned it, the shutdown, the dip in January. There was a slight dip in applications, and part of that was over the last several months we'd seen interest rates increase.
Yeah.
So that kind of scares the consumer back a little bit, but I mean, again, the numbers are better than we've seen in a long, long time.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Stay with us right here. When we come back, more from our contributors here in studio. Mortgage expert contributor Kevin Fiske. We got a legal analyst as well in studio, Mr. Frank Miranda, and more from our expert contributors. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay and in the United States. I'm a top 1% realtor in the U.S. We've got a great team over at Keller Williams Realty. Now, my wife is a licensed agent, and we've got about 8 other agents on our team there. And we want to help you win. That's the goal of the show as a consumer advocate, especially when it comes to helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. You're going to hear some of our real estate properties highlighted throughout this show. And a real exciting announcement is we just added Apple TV, Amazon TV, nice. Roku, 85 other outlets to our already expansive offering with 102.5 The Bone is one of our radio stations, 1380 The Biz. So we're just doubling down, adding more value, and helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate, helping our business owners as well with exposure. So this segment is brought to you by our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Bilmar Beach Resort over on beautiful Treasure Island, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. The Bilmar Beach Resort has been one of the most sought-after destinations in the Treasure Island area for years. So whether you're planning a quick business trip, a wedding, an outing, a local vacation or a staycation, or a vacation, check out the Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. Give the general manager, Clyde Smith, the call. Let him know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's restaurant as well and bar. So some excellent games outside. They've got a game area and just a great place to go hang out. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, so a couple of hot properties for this segment. I want to let you know about this 1370 Gulf Boulevard, Clearwater Beach, the number 1 beach in the world. Unit number 401 is my unit. It's 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, Bella Rosa condo on Sand Key, and it's a gorgeous property. You've got tennis on site, pool, spa, beaches, and it's one of the best maintained condominium projects on the beach. It's the Bella Rosa condo on Sand Key, 3 bedroom, 3 bath. 1370 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 401, and that's a hot real estate property that we've got listed here with Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 4613 South Matanzas Avenue. This is a property that's 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath. You also have a half bath, and it's a local celebrity. It's Ian Beckles, former Buccaneer and radio show host himself, Ian Beckles' home. So let's help Ian get his property sold here. $729,000, and it's a great location in the 33611. Just a quick walk over to Bayshore to enjoy all that South Tampa has to offer.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so we were talking with Kevin Fiske, more from the Lending Ninja coming up as well in the show, and talk about that 100% financing. And now I want to switch gears. I want to talk a little legal, have our legal analyst in the show here. And I love when the attorneys come on the show. It's great content, and it's valuable content. So we got Frank Miranda here in studio. He's a real estate attorney, also does title closings for real estate companies, mortgage companies, for sale by owners, whoever wants to work with him. And there's some distinct advantages that we've talked about with that, having an attorney on staff.
No, it's definitely different. So if you want me to compare what we do compared to a title company, I can do that for you. And what I mean by that is most title companies nowadays are owned by national companies. National companies have tremendous guidelines and requirements and things of that nature. And when things go south, when something goes bad, the first thing that a big company does is they protect themselves.
Right.
And so it doesn't necessarily mean that, the seller who may have referred that file to you to close pursuant to a contract doesn't mean that their best interest is at heart. So what's great about you guys and what I mean about licensed realtors and know what they're doing when you use that contract, I call it a Florida bar contract. And the reason why it's called that is because a lot of professionals got together and said this is the best language for everybody. It allows me, because I'm a lawyer, not only to close the deal, but I can represent the party that brought me that deal per the contract. So if something goes bad, I can step in the room and not worry about what my title underwriters are worried about, even though that's a consideration. But I also have the ability to put another hat on and say, the seller in this transaction might be getting the raw end of the deal, and I can step in and protect his interest right then and there at the table. And if it goes beyond that, unfortunately, sometimes it does, we're able to go ahead and file the lawsuit. And there's a lot of lawyers out there that claim that they litigate.
Right.
In reality, they don't follow anything.
That's
You
what
can
I've
bring
seen.
a hammer down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a little muscle that comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because when you, again, back to kind of how we started off the show with the lenders that say, oh, we're going to pay your closing costs. You don't pay any closing costs with us. And then you have, like you said, attorneys that claim to go to court and, trial attorneys, et cetera. It's just funny how when you look behind the facade, what really means is, on the mortgage side, they're most likely, again, jacking up the rate, giving somebody a higher rate than they qualify for, getting paid points from the lender. Yield used to be called yield spread. I think it's a different way now.
Yeah.
So there's all these different tactics and things that that's why we developed this show. We developed this show to kind of cut through that and give the consumers out there a straight shot. Here's what's happening and here's what you can do about it.
I love it. Yep.
Yeah, and really, when I say muscle, it's not really muscle. All we do is hold people accountable for what they already agreed to per the contract. So nowadays, it's you relate this to anything in society today. People don't like what's going on. They want to get up and walk out. Well,
Right.
You can't just get up and walk out. You signed a contract.
Right.
You gave somebody your word.
That's
And-
right.
And all we're saying is keep your word.
That's right. Yeah, and it means a little bit more when it's coming from someone like you sitting at a closing table, especially when you mentioned, on the commercial side, there's less of a fiduciary capacity from a real estate standpoint, on a commercial loan, right, or commercial real estate closing. That's more of businesses. It's more big boys playing big boy game.
Yeah, that's true. And so when it's a commercial transaction, there's a lot less that a seller has to disclose. And there's a lot of loopholes. And if the buyer's out there, they got to be aware that they should be represented by competent real estate professionals.
Right.
And if they're not, and I've seen it numerous times, and I've seen it numerous times recently, people get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that a lot of people have invested most of their life savings in a project, be it a residential property or commercial piece of property, and they get in there and it's not what they bought.
Right.
And it's not what they were told that they bought. And so they've been harmed greatly. And so we don't like that. And
Right.
so I'm more than happy to help somebody that I think's been wronged. And,
Yeah.
and so I think the concept too, and this is a little side note too, these aren't frivolous lawsuits. And,
Right.
and it's unfortunate that the frivolous lawsuits get some of the media attention, but I'll be honest with you, I've never been in front of a judge that wants a frivolous lawsuit heard in front of them.
Right.
And so I think the frivolous lawsuit concept has been spun probably by insurance companies because they get sued a lot.
Oh,
And they don't
exactly.
want to make lawyers look bad. But I'll be honest with you, has it ever happened? Of course it has. But it doesn't happen with the regularity, I think, that most people believe it does.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. And politicians, lobbyists have something to play in that game as well. We're talking with Frank Miranda, real estate attorney here in Tampa Bay, and he's got an office conveniently located on Cypress, just between downtown and the West Shore District. So a great location you have there, Frank.
I appreciate that. And it took us 2.5 years to build that project. We built it from scratch, and very proud of that building. And there's, I can say from my firm perspective, coming to me, one, is not any more expensive than going to a title company. And you're going to be in that ballpark range. And number two, when you come to the office, we're very proud of it because, one, it's not stuffy. It's a modern building with concrete floors, exposed ductwork. There's music playing and not the old elevator music. And, we want people to feel when they come to our office for any problem, it's going to be equivalent to dropping your car off at a Mercedes. You're going to get top-notch service. We're going to make sure that your needs and your questions are answered. And we're going to make it efficient. You're not going to be there all day long. And so when you leave my office, if something's wrong, you call me personally and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, and Stephanie's awesome over there. She does a great job. You got a great staff. Lauren, your team is awesome. I met most of the team now. But, yeah, so I want to shift gears, too. I want to talk a little bit about, with any kind of law changes in the real estate space, because that's something that happens every year. There's different laws, some certain rules sunset at the end of the year. Certain rules will sunset, Save Our Homes, all these different types of programs. Have you seen anything, along those lines that changes that our consumers might want to know about?
Well, there's nothing that I would say practically has changed, okay? But I know, my ninja to my left has mentioned, some of the programs that are now out. I think the programs that were into effect when the economy, quite honestly, was bad under the Obama administration, some of those have faded away. I think there's still some HARP out there, something of that nature. But those are all dealing with circumstances where, a consumer's already in trouble.
Right.
The stuff that's going on now, and I mentioned that form contract that most professionals use and should use.
That's right.
That contract gets modified and reviewed, I think, on a yearly basis. That contract's extremely important, and I've told many realtors, I said, listen, don't get compliant with that because it changes all the time and you need to read it on a regular basis and be familiar with it. And there's what's most important and what's mostly underused is there's a provision in those contracts that has blank spaces as additional terms.
I like that.
And those additional terms, you got to protect your client and you write down exactly what you mean. And the simpler you write it, the easier it is for me to litigate it. So if you want the escrow deposit non-refundable, just put it in there and it gets to be released on a certain day. Just put it in there and I'll make sure it gets done.
I like that. All right, stay with us right here. More from our expert contributors in studio. We also have your girl Paulina coming up as well. And our feel-good story of the day, hockey player revives teammate who didn't have a pulse for 5 minutes. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leave on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. 5 o'clock drive time right here on 1380 The Biz, the Wall Street Business Network. Weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone on the weekend, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. And we also have our TV show on WeBeam TV, Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, and 85 other outlets. So we're real excited about the growth here. And we're bringing on local business owners, any business owners, managers out there that might want to get some exposure for their business. And you have that consumer advocate approach to your business. We'd love to talk to you. Hit us up on our hotline, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. And make sure you check out our website, consumerqb.com. Consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there, all their contact information, websites, and that's where you can reach out to them, and they're going to help you win. That's our goal. A couple of hot property listings here. We got 103 South Havana Avenue in South Tampa. This is a just listed property, $482,000. Owner's motivated on this property. It's in the Plant High School district, and it's a great opportunity. Airbnb's making a lot of money on the Airbnb, and it's 103 South Havana Avenue, 33609. So it's a great opportunity in South Tampa, south of Kennedy. So I know that's a great area down there. 1600 67th Avenue South in St. Petersburg. Owner's motivated here as well. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. It's got a garage that's been converted, and it's just reduced down to $245,000. Great buying opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving. The official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving, and they strive to be the very best Tampa Bay moving companies by exceeding your expectations. And they are among the best reviewed Tampa movers as well, where on Google they hold a 4.6 rating, the best in the Tampa Bay area. They have an A rating on the Better Business Bureau, A rating on Angie's List, and a 4.5 rating on Yelp. And they won the Super Service Award multiple years in a row. Reach out to Brothers Easy Moving. Gary is the owner. Reach out to Gary and let him know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you are a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. So a lot of times we have these events as well. We've got a great event coming up. We would love to see you there. It's on the 28th of the month. Save the date. It's February 28th. It's going to be over at Cox Media Group, 1025 The Bone Studio. You can take a radio station tour. We're going to have the Snoop Dogg there, Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection. Aaron Foley is a buyer agent. It's going to be there as well. We're going to have 100% financing going to be talked about as well. We're going to have Kevin and Rob there from our partner at Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. Of course, myself going to be talking about the selling side of that business. So we're going to help you win. That's our goal. Free event. Check it out on eventbrite.com. All right, back here in studio, we're helping you win. Got a great lineup here, an all-star lineup for you. Kevin Fiske, he's in seat 1, Lending Ninja branch over at Mutual Omaha Mortgage. We also have Frank Miranda, real estate attorney as well, and I'm welcoming in Paulina into the house.
Hi,
welcome
hey.
in.
Thanks for having me. I love being here.
Yeah. So what's going on with you? What's new?
What isn't going on? We just had Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Love is in the air.
Yes.
It's a beautiful time, and probably the last time the guys are going to come out with the rings and propose. So I think of it, engagement season is officially over. Of course, you can propose at any time, but the special time is from Christmas to Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So now everyone's like planning, but they're planning their weddings out to 2020, and we're getting into all those fun corporate events.
Okay.
But what's really exciting with Amici's, of course, is that we are preferred caterers at over 100 different venues, but we just got another one. We've been talking about it a little bit, but it was just featured at the New York Times this past weekend.
Very cool.
Which is the Garden Venue.
Yes.
In Palm Harbor.
Love that place.
It is an amazing outdoor venue, and we are actually going to be having an event there. And I wanted to invite all the networkers out and business owners out there that are listening. The NACE Group is having an event called Spread the Love. And they are going to have a little bit of speed networking. Amici's, of course, will be catering, and we're going to have a really wide variety of our menu there. So this is a really great chance to come out and try our food. Very similar to our tastings, but on a bigger, way more romantic scale. I see you over here.
I like that. I like that. So I know where it's at, but when is it?
It's on February 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. Tickets actually are 50% off because they want to spread the love and invite everybody that is in any sort of business networking. Let's just get out there and meet each other and show the love. It's really fun and exciting. And another venue that we just became preferred vendors at is the JBL Tampa River Center. Are you familiar with that?
Sounds familiar.
It's all brand new. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It could fit up to 400 people. And we just did a raise event there recently, which is awesome and exciting. I was a little starstruck the whole time. Don't take me around famous people. I'm a mess. I was like,
okay. All right.
But it was really great. And we are officially one of their caterers, so we'll be doing a lot of events. But really what I've realized through my networking world is that we have been able to bring a much better advantage to our clients because we are able to not only help you with the food, but we can recommend you to a venue, and they're all listed by cities on our website. So we truly could be your first stop. We have relationships with different vendors for the last 36 years. Our anniversary's coming up.
Wow.
Let's have a party.
That's awesome. Yeah. Party time with Paulina right there. Hashtag on social media. Hashtag your girl Paulina.
That's right.
And you can find her there on a lot of social media, doing a lot of events. But I love the networking side of what you're doing. You know, our event last time was awesome. We had, you know, I can't remember the final count, 140, 150, somewhere in that range.
Yes.
Great event. Just a super awesome venue. The weather was cooperating, and it was just a nice night to wear the jacket and, you know, look kind of sharp. The men are looking sharp. The women looking great as well. And
it was really great. And how cool was it that it was actually on TV afterwards?
Yeah.
That was amazing to be on the American Dream Show.
We did.
And to be able to share a little bit what the venue looks like. For those of you that have not been there, there's fire tables, waterfalls. It's super romantic. There's little nooks and crannies. You can walk off for a second if you want to. There's some pictures there for you in case you're watching the show.
Yeah.
Where's this at?
That's the one. Some
garden venue.
It's the garden venue in Palm Harbor, and those are just what some of the fire tables look like. So, like, those are little nooks that you can get into and check it out.
It's just a different event. You know, a lot of times people want to go. They don't want four walls and a ceiling. They want to be outside, and this is such a gorgeous place for them.
They want to celebrate under the stars, and there's no better way to do that. And it's great for weddings and all sorts of corporate events. I love planning corporate events because I love to show you how you can grow your business and not just drink with your buddies at your event.
Absolutely.
With
and that's
strategy.
a good point as well. You don't want to talk to the people you already know. I mean, say hello, be cordial, but the purpose of going to these events is to meet new people, to grow your sphere of influence.
Absolutely. And just like when you join a networking group, you don't have to sell to the people. You're just trying to meet their Rolodex.
Yeah.
Rolodex.
Exactly.
That's an old word.
Yeah, Rolodex. They probably have some kind of a digital version now of
if anyone
a Rolodex.
Knows.
Yeah,
well,
I'm
of
sure.
course, their cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I remember those days too. So if you just joined us, Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're talking marketing here. We've got some legal talk going on. We've got mortgage talk as well. But we're going to help you win. That's the bottom line. We want you to think about this show as the hub of your financial, your business, your marketing wheel. Each one of those spokes extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we all want to help you save time, money, energy when it comes to making these business decisions. ConsumerQB.com is your number one resource. So what else are you seeing out there, Paulina?
I'm actually seeing a lot of people calling in and asking me questions because of the show. So I'm really happy to be your source for whenever you need a vendor, a place to have your party, or if you actually need some planning services. But from a legal standpoint, I was just thinking about it. I just had all new contracts made up.
There you go.
Man, as a person in the creative world, that is like the hardest thing for me to think about.
Yeah.
So having like a trusty resource, a great lawyer. I mean, I don't know if an event person can have a lawyer on staff. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But just to make sure that you're covered in all different aspects is really important.
Right.
And what I'm also learning as an event planner is that you can sign a contract with a venue, and is it you that signs the contract, or is it the couple that signs the contract?
Right.
We've been talking about that back and forth all day today. And then,
I'd be careful with that, especially because you've got, you can't be held responsible for what they're going to bring, because sometimes they might bring something to the table that you didn't really know that they were doing. So that's what would you say about that, Frank? I mean, when you're thinking about putting an event together at a third-party venue, and she's a third party putting on these events, and then that real estate company or that mortgage company or whoever the company is, you got three different parties there. What would be the idea just to kind of have an overall there?
Yeah, so now you're talking about maybe a wedding that has some more theatrics to it. So obviously you have a contract with the facility, and whatever that contract says you got to do. And then, you have a third party that you got to make happy, which is your client, right, who's getting married, and then she has to rent the facility, so they have a separate contract. So those two contracts really speak for themselves. But practically speaking, when it's a wedding, it's just chaos, right?
Yeah.
I'm picturing chaos, and people are just trying to get things done.
Or a speed networking event. All types of different events.
Yeah, and there's high emotion. People want every
Good point.
event to go off nice, whether it's a business event or whether it's a wedding. They want it to go out smoothly, and they want people to talk about it. What a great event that was! But you have these intertwining relationships and obligations.
That's right.
And so necessarily, if your client breaches their agreement with the facility, it doesn't mean that you're in bad shape with the facility. But oftentimes everyone gets brought into the fight. no matter who's at fault. So to some degree, you got to worry about what's going on with that side too. That's a kind of a tricky one because
It's so tricky.
that's kind of like family law situation where people get really emotional about a big event.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's best to kind of think about it the day after or figure out who really was at fault and maybe cooler heads can prevail.
I think it kind of comes down.
Are we still talking weddings, or are we on to divorces again?
Yeah,
Chaotic
you never know.
and not.
Well, I think we're coming into our last segment here, but what you got?
Celebration for your divorce, right?
Yeah, there's your divorce party. I've heard of those too.
I do those.
I think there's two things that we've heard, right? It's one of those things of business to under promise, over deliver, okay, and then also inspect what you expect.
Right.
A couple of those. So how do you put that into a contract? And then have everybody kind of meet those expectations. I think that's part of it.
It's so crazy. So right now it's like I have a contract with a client, but I have a contract with the venue. If they break something at the venue, right now my name's on it, so I'd be responsible for it. But then my contract says whatever they're responsible for, they're going to cover there.
Pass it
through.
Oh my
God, that's
as much
so
as
lawsuits.
as much as you can pass it through, exactly, because
Right.
it's going to be exactly. So.
And so without any legal help, there's no way I would be ever able to do any of that by myself. So I'm so grateful for lawyers. Thank you.
Yeah, and also putting it into the contract that some kind of a dispute resolution that everybody signs to. I think maybe that might be applicable, maybe not. Frank will touch on that maybe when we come back. So stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to jump into our lightning round. We're going to get some top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom from our expert contributors, and we also have our feel good story of the day. Hockey player revives teammate who didn't have a pulse for 5 minutes. Stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. House.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and we're having a lot of fun in studio today. We talk about mortgages and finance, talk about real estate law, real estate closings, weddings, events, marketing, so much more here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want to make sure you save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372, and the website is ConsumerQB.com. This segment is brought to you by WholeBodyFuel.com, the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Chef Brian Adamo and Kevin and his team, they do a great job. And every week I get a delivery of these awesome meals, and it's convenient, it's healthy, it's organic. What else do you have in this world if you don't have your health, right? So WholeBodyFuel.com, check them out. Let them know that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They've also got the world famous protein donuts as well. So WholeBodyFuel.com, check them out. And every day we're going to tell you something positive here on our show. We're going to tell you our feel-good segment of the day here and our positivity injection for you.
Tell me something good.
All right, so this hockey player revives teammate who didn't have a pulse for 5 minutes. So the gentleman's name was Jib Street. He's playing hockey his entire life, and went to go play a pickup game, much like we would down here in Florida. We play a little pickup game of basketball or football or wiffle ball as you're a kid, He's in North Carolina. He suddenly dropped to the ice, and he went into a cardiac arrest. He didn't have a pulse for more than 5 minutes, but his luck would have it, a fellow player on the ice was an emergency room doctor. When I did see the video, here's a quote of Jib Street. When I did see the video a couple days, it is difficult to watch yourself go down and lie motionless on the ice. The gratitude comes from how fast this guy responded. That's a miracle. I'm skating with an emergency room doctor, Street told Fox 46. Dr. Craig Bryant, whom Street calls his guardian angel, and other teammates quickly jumped into action to save his life. Street made a full recovery and gave Bryant one of his most prized possessions, a hockey jersey signed by Wayne Gretzky. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is amazing. Signed by Wayne Gretzky. Bryant said, I love you, man. Thanks so much.
That's
Pretty
awesome.
Cool.
But it doesn't brain damage kick in after just a few minutes, and he was
You'd
down
think.
for 5 minutes?
That's a miracle.
Yeah, you'd
That's
think. Absolutely.
Patient zero of the zombie apocalypse right there.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, they probably didn't have a stopwatch there either. 4.5 minutes,
Right.
3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably felt like 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less. Who knows? But yeah, that's man, having a doctor
That's
around,
awesome.
right? Yeah,
It is fantastic.
You just need a lawyer and a doctor, and you're good.
You ever seen anything like that, guys, in your life?
No.
Like where somebody's, I've seen the Heimlich maneuver one time with, we were on an 8th grade trip and one of the teachers helped the principal or something like that. He's like, something got caught in his throat. But pretty crazy when people spring into action, that good Samaritan that comes in.
That's not easy to do. And fortunately, that individual that helped out was so trained in what to
Kicks
do.
in.
That the guy was so fortunate.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be that fortunate. I'd probably be, skating around with a bunch of PE coaches or something, and they can give you mouth to mouth. That was probably it.
Yeah.
What a great story that is. True miracle.
That's right. It really was. All right, in studio today, we got Kevin Fiske. He's the lending ninja here on the show. He's with Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. We've got Frank Miranda. He's the owner of Frank Charles Miranda, PA, real estate attorney, does title closings as well. We've got your girl, Paulina, as well, marketing expert, social media guru.
I think you gave me the party
guru.
I was the party guru, right?
Something
the
like
party
that.
industry. It's your girl, Paulina.
I like it.
That's
yeah.
what he said.
I like that. That
there
is
you go.
good.
Yeah. It's so we have a great lineup here, and it's it's all about helping you as a business owner. That's the idea. The business managers out there, the salespeople, consumers as well. It's the biz here on the radio show. But let's jump into our lightning round. We're going to get some top tips for you here in our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Your girl, Paulina, you're up first.
Well, you guys know I love to have a good time, and it's really what it's all about, because when you die, that's all you're going to have is those beautiful memories. But while you're going into it, read all your contracts. Make sure you're actually signing contracts, and do not hire your friends for the most important celebrations of your life.
Yeah, good point.
That's what I got for you.
Don't hire friends. That's in the real estate world too. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I went with my friend and it expired, and I wonder why it didn't sell.
Did it on a handshake. It's no biggie.
Yeah. Well, they probably had an agreement in place, but here's two things that happens when it comes to friends in real estate. That what I've seen. Okay, either they're going to do a jam up job for you. Maybe that does happen. But on the other ones that I see is they're probably not going to put as much effort because they know you're not going to fire them. They're gonna take care of those needy clients first. In some cases, most cases, I would think. And let's face it, the kid's soccer coach. He's probably not the best realtor in most cases. But anyways, that's a bunny trail I like to go down. All right, Frank Charles Miranda, PA, real estate attorney.
Paulina stole everything I was going to say. Read
there you
contracts,
go.
right?
She did.
Yeah, but secondly, what you were saying too, Brandon, to follow up on that, not only do you read the things you need to, what you're going to sign and what you're committing to, the same thing as a handshake back in 1950, where people actually did what they were going to say, and trust and ask a lot of questions of the professionals that you're going to hire.
That's right.
So right along those lines about the soccer coach. So ask them how many deals they've closed. Ask them what kind of deals they closed. Ask them what kind of deals they closed over a certain price point.
Yes.
Ask them who they recommend for their professionals. And the people they're recommending, you got to follow up and see what they're presenting in front of you. Are they offering somebody that truly isn't to the level where they should be? Let's put it that way. So it's following up, ask questions. And when you get an answer and it sounds more like a used car salesman's response and it's kind of generic, then you got to ask the follow-up question. And that's where we, as a society and consumers, they don't ask that follow-up question. They accept that initial response, and they don't challenge that. And so, you see that a lot of politicians today. But you got to see that. You got to see that second. You got to ask that second question and ask, well, how are you going to do this? I want detail.
Yeah.
And if they can give you detail, they might be qualified.
Yeah, and how this is something I've thought about as well. When you're looking to hire an attorney, for example, is there a site that you go to? Is there a formula that you want to look at, or do you ask them, hey, where did you graduate in your class at your law school? Like, how do you kind of get that information out?
I mean, that's pretty good. Those are all good questions to ask. I don't necessarily think, where you graduated makes you a good lawyer. I've litigated against guys that went to Duke, Harvard, Yale, and quite honestly, I wasn't all that impressed. Now, a lot of those guys are very good. It just happened to be the guy that I was in front of that had that type of degree didn't necessarily impress me, or luckily didn't impress the court that day either.
Right.
But, with that being said, you can check them out in the Florida bar, make sure there's no complaints against them. You obviously want to ask, just like you would anyone else, you want to ask for maybe referrals. You want to ask your neighbors, you want to ask your business associates, have they had good responses with lawyers? And then go interview a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, go in there and actually interview them. If you're a trial lawyer, how many times do you go to court? How many times do you file? How many times do you actually go to trial?
Is that public record? Can you find that
it is, because you can go to the clerk's office, clerk of the circuit court, and you can type in someone's name, and you can see how many lawsuits they've actually filed or been part of. Yeah, it is public record.
That's good stuff. Awesome. All right, here we go. Kevin Fiske, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom.
What I'd like to say is listeners, if you're out there renting, or if you've been turned down for a mortgage, or you just think there's no way that I can get a mortgage, you need to give us a call. You need to give us a call. Let us look at what we got, and we'll put an action plan together to make home ownership a reality.
Yes,
Boom.
I like that.
Lending.
Consumer
Lending
QB.
Ninja.
ConsumerQB.com. All the contact information is there at ConsumerQB.com. And in the past, we've offered a rent versus own analysis. That's something we can do for you today. You just text in rent, the amount of rent you're paying. If you want to know the value of your home, text value to our hotline, and 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. Text the word rent, the amount of rent you're paying. We'll get you a rent versus own analysis. If you text value, we'll do a CMA, basically the same thing. You pay $500 for an appraisal. We're going to give you all that same information for free as a consumer advocate. We're going to limit that to the first 3 listeners who do that, though. Text to 813-670-7372, and we'll help you out with all those different areas. But let's do another round here. I think we've got a couple minutes left. Paulina, top tips, any other parting words of advice for our listeners out there?
Yes, I do have some top tips. So I was thinking that I personally would like to meet all the attorneys hanging around. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that hashtag. Lawyers know how to party, or attorneys know how to party. Me.
Okay.
They are the most fun.
This was a family
people
show
to party with. They are families. They are everything, but they really understand the point of celebrating life. They work hard, but they play hard.
Yeah.
And so I went to the Oyster Roast 2 years in a row, and it was really awesome. And I got to meet a lot of them. So we've been catering a lot. And there's just so many ways that we can help them. They're so busy throughout their day. Nobody has time to make a lunch anymore and go. We could just come set everything up. You're all good.
I love that.
Get back to work. What really matters.
I love the idea for the real estate application also of closing parties. When we close that real estate deal, here's a party,
housewarming
some
party.
Wine, house party. That's a cool idea of some bottles of wine, and so hey, another great show. Kevin Fiske, Frank Miranda, and Paulina in the house, and we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good in the community. Do something kind for one another, and we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.